Peace. Peace. What's going on, my peoples? It's your boy, Sincere Seven, coming to you live and direct from the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit. The Pad. That's funny because we've been calling it the Pad so long that one day I said something about the Pad and I was like, Psychonaut Academy of Detroit. And the person was like, yo, that's what that stands for, yo. I thought you was just saying like the pad, like where we chilled. Oh, that's dope as shit. So I think that's real funny. You know what I'm saying? That's what the pad is. Master civilization builder. Yo, peace, God. Peace to everybody tapping in, tuning in. Um, so for those who don't know, we already was running this video, and my Bluetooth was connected to the speaker, so nobody could hear me from the platform. So I had to bring it back. So I ain't supposed to tell y'all that, but for real, welcome back to a lot of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And welcome to those of y'all who just tapping in and tuning in. So let me run it. You know what I'm saying? It's from the beginning. I'm Sincere Seven. You know what I'm saying? I represent the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit, Florida edition right now, if you can tell by the trees in the background. Right? And today's talk is gonna be about magic mushrooms, organic technologies, the microdosing, the macrodosing, the high gram dosages, the integration afterwards. So all things mushrooms. Welcome. I invite you all to comment, to ask questions, to share this video. Please, if you share this video, type 7 into the comments so I can see what my shares are. And if you would, tell me, if you're watching, have you ever done mushrooms? If you have, type the amount that you've done into the chat, into the comments. If you haven't, just type 0. So I want to know who hasn't, 0, and who has. And if you have, just type the number of grams or the amount that you used in the comments. Can we get it started like that? All right. So in the video, speaking on the who, what, when, where, how, the organic technologies, one thing that I said that I was going to speak on before anything was who am I and why am I speaking about this? I have found as a practitioner that there's a lot of information. Okay, 5Gs twice. Peace. I like that. There's a lot of information out here that's being spread, that's being given, that's being talked about by people who are brand new to the industry. Now, let me be very clear when I'm saying this. This is not a knock. This is not a diss. If you are brand new to the industry, welcome. I was once new too. I once didn't know anything either. But what I didn't do was I wasn't teaching. I wasn't out here selling products. I wasn't trying to, do all the. And again, I'm not knocking it because if you got it like that, then show it, right? But to those of y'all who are brand new, I'm gonna tell you, I spent probably 7 years just going in continuously, going in. I started off with 7 grams, and since then I've went in over and over and over and went up further. It's not a competition. It's not a race, right? But what it is, it's a relationship. It's a relationship that I invite you all to to try to involve yourself in, um, because you will be informed if that relationship is desired or not, if it's wanted or not, if it's supported or not. What do I mean by that? All right, well, let's start off here. Who? If we talking about organic technologies, the magic mushrooms, the who, what, when, where, and how, let's start with the who. To be very clear, the who has nothing to fucking do with you or me. The who, what are we talking about? Mushrooms. I, for general understanding, yeah, we talking about mushrooms. But when I'm talking, I'm not talking about mushrooms. I'm talking about the usage of mushrooms. We're talking about mycelium. For those of y'all don't understand what I'm saying, mycelium, by now you should know, is the actual intelligence that has come from another realm into the realms of the terrestrial or the earth and made an agreement with the planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, you kind of hot, man. I'm saying, you should let me fuck with you. And she was like, for what? What you gonna do for me? He was like, shit, all them valleys and them mountains, girl, you moist as hell. You 75% covered in water. I thrive off of water. What you mean what I do? I tell you what I'll do. You fuck with me, I'll improve your waters. I'll improve your forestries. I'll improve your playing lands. Girl, I'll improve every single part of you let me touch. Hold on, shorty, that ain't it. Oh, you talking now? You talking nice? Hold on, shorty, that ain't it. Let me tell you what else I do. Not only will I improve you as an organism, but I'll improve them motherfucking humans that you got living all over you. Any human that comes in contact with me, I'll improve them too. Oh, you gonna take care of me and my kids? Hell yeah, bitch, what's up? She was like, oh, you can get it. And mycelium was like, bet. And mycelium been all up in the earth ever since, right? Okay. Yo, I'm silly, y'all. If y'all ain't know I'm silly. So look, so the mycelium and the earth come up with this agreement. Like, you gonna make me better? Cool, I'll give you water, daddy. And the mycelium and the earth became one, right? So understand that mycelium is an entity. It is a living consciousness entity, right? And as this mycelium not just grows, but moves through the planet, as it moves through the planet, it is finding a comfortable position. It's finding a place that has food and the right uh, 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 um, surface area for it to grow in and through. The amount of moisture is perfect. The humidity above ground is perfect. And the mycelium is finding those perfect environments to thrive in, right? And now some mushrooms, when they find those perfect environments to thrive in, they remain there until that environment is starting to show lack of the things that it finds conducive. And then it says, oh no, this isn't good to just be here any longer. I need to go somewhere else, right? I need to find another place as comforting as this environment. And this is when it wants to replicate itself. When we want to replicate ourselves, what happens? Those sexual organs get aroused. That's what the mushroom is. A mushroom is the sexual organ of a mycelial body. So once the mushroom sprouts, then it busts its nut, quote unquote, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm using street terms, which is releasing its spores. Those spores blow off in the wind for anywhere from some meters to miles, and they land. And when there is moisture content available, then that those spores will start to grow into a mycelial network and go underground and try to find suitable environments. So that's basically the life cycle of a mushroom. But it's not a mushroom, it's a mycelial mass. The mushroom is the sexual organ of the mycelium. All right. So now that we got that down, right? We got that part down, so dig this. So what happens is, when we get them, what do? We eat them. I want to be very clear when I say this. You are eating the sexual organ of a living entity. You are performing what is called sex magic with an alien, an intergalactic entity that has come to the earth and has an agreement with the earth to live here. You just ate its sexual organ. Okay? So I like to explain that because, one, it has people like, wait, what the fuck did you talking about? But then it also goes, oh shit, because now this intergalactic entity that you just ate, you know what I'm saying? Whatever your sexual preference is, if you eat dicks, that's your sexual preference. You just ate that dick. If you ate vaginas, such as myself, I'm a vagina eater. I'm an eater of vaginas. I'm like, damn, because if you look at the mushroom from the top, it looks like a titty, a nipple. They got a nipple and a big round breast, a little areola, they call it, right? All right. If you look at it from the side, it look like a dick. Okay. I got one. I've compared. Like, yeah, they do look the same. And if you cut it down the middle and open it up, it's the vagina. It represents the fallopian tubes, all of that, right? So this is it telling us that it is in unison with us. What they call that the signature of appearance. Signature of appearance, I believe, where these things appear as things that they help or will help or assist with. So it is showing you us in itself. So when you eat it, you just ate the sexual organ of an intergalactic entity. Y'all both have sex magic. Now, you get all of the access to the realms, the information that it has had. And it gets the ability to express itself in an animated manner. You got to think mycelium is just able to grow single cellular throughout the planet, throughout the earth. It's always working. But once it connects with you through this agreement and you eat it, now the mushroom is in you. If y'all haven't seen the movie Venom, I invite you to watch that movie. To me, that is a prime example of what's going on when you utilize these organic technologies. Okay? So, sex magic, intergalactic being, now you get all the information, you know what I'm saying, that it has, and it gets the ability to act out through you. This is why when I've been a gatekeeper for a long time, 10, 15 years, I done took a lot of people through their first 7-gram trips. And let me tell you, the majority of those people, when they are animated, they are usually, some of them will respond physically to what they're going through in their actual, where they're at, when they leave this realm and go to another realm. People think that that's not really what happening. Well, I invite you to chew down on 16 grams. If y'all think that you are hallucinating or mind manifesting and all of that, yeah, all right, go chew down 16, 20. Shit, Baba Clear, he never said this in public, but he was like, when we was in private hanging out in my house, he was like, listen, the real action don't start until you get to 20 grams. And I understood as I took my trips and went higher and higher, because I would take a certain amount until I'm able to operate under them realms. I can do 7 grams now, and I'm Gucci. Like, all right, like if I don't even want you to know I'm on something, I'm pretty sure I can pull that off. You know what I'm saying? Or if I told you, you would think I'm on some low grammage, like I'm on some microdose that got heavy. Saying like, nah, I'm on some little mushroom or now. You know what I'm saying? But heavily like gone, right? But I don't do mine in the midst of people, but I'm just using that as an example, right? So then once you get good at 7 grams and now you can operate, you can see, you can control yourself in the realms, then you might want to work yourself up to 10 grams, to 12 grams, to 14 grams. And that's why we're psychonauts. It's just like astronauts. You don't just, oh, I'm an astronaut, I'm going to Mars. No, hold on, motherfucker. First, you got to go in the chambers that push you up in the air. Like you still on Earth, but we just replicating this. Then you got to go through the training and the simulation of, then you got to go through at least kind of just flying up and coming back. Then we might send you on an astronaut out into space and bring you back. Then you might go to the moon. Then you might go to, I'm making all this shit up. I don't know how they do this shit. But what I'm saying to y'all is, as psychonauts, I would advise you all to train under the amounts that you're taking. Right? So to the individual that said they took 5 grams twice, right? Master civilization, peace, God. Boom, that's cool. Take it one more time. You know what I'm saying? And you should have a sweet spot by now, like where you like kind of know what to expect, kind of know how you gonna operate, how deep this is gonna go. All right, boom. Now go up to 7 grams. Remove the veil, right? Wow, right? Then do that shit about 3, 4 times. Then go up to, you know what I'm saying? Right? Because shit, Baba Kalinda used to have the 5-7-9 protocol, I believe was they called it. So they would start you off, you know. So by the time that Baba Mudu brought it to us, now when I say us at the time, yo, I was heavily with the Nation of Gods and Earth. Like I was part of the body. So I'm always gonna be God, but there's like the body, which is like a group of individuals that always meet. They're always together. That's the body, right? So I was a part of the body, heavily. And so when Baba Mudu brought the mushrooms to the gods, it was like, all right, well, you know, how do people be taking them? And he was like, well, we do the protocol of 5, 7, 9. And it was like 5, 7, 9. All right, well, 5 is power. And you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to go further. I'll leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? And 7 is God. Well, we the gods, like, why we got to start off at 5? If we speak like we the gods, then we the gods. Like, we'll start at 7. It was like, all right. So all the gods started at 7 grams. So that's how I ended up not going through the 5, 7, 9, because by the time it got to me, it wasn't through the Tamarian protocol. It was from a Tamarian who brought it to the gods. So when we got a hold of it, all right, we all started doing 7 grams, right? So that's how I got introduced. Once I went on my own practices and was taking people through, I was starting everybody off on 7 grams. And so some people was like, oh, I heard that's high. And I'm like, well, no, because I do high gram dosages. You know, 16 would be high. You know, I wouldn't do you like that. But anything under 7 grams, now, this is from my own self-style wisdom. Understand what I'm telling y'all. Everybody has their own protocols. No medicine man is going to say what somebody else's protocol is good for. But in my practice, what I have found is that 7 grams does what we call removes the veil. The 5 grams is to get people comfortable so that once you remove the veil, you don't freak out. Well, from an individual who went in at 7 and was healed of his PTSD overnight, I felt like this isn't something you prepare somebody for. Everybody's different and everybody operates differently. So understand something. I'm not saying that there's a should or a shouldn't. I'm saying that in our practice, the majority of people who are coming to us are looking for what we do. We just now started doing low gram shadow work, mirror magic, different things like this, where we will guide people through low gram dosages. But understand, because I say that anything under 7 grams is an altered perception. It's an altered perception. Your perception of things changes. It's not until you get to 7 grams that your consciousness changes. Now, an example of that would be what people refer to as ego death. I don't talk about that because I know what they're saying, because I've experienced it almost every time. And they don't, because they're under 7 grams. So they think that the self is supposed to be there, the ego, the thought process, your own understanding of who you are, how you feel, and how you see things. Understand, you can never really get true, pure messages as long as you are contaminating them with your own wants, your own consciousness, your own thoughts and feelings. So what you have to do is you have to remove the veil that you hold over your eyes and go directly into the spiritual realms. The realms where what you think, feel, or understand, it doesn't matter. Shut up. This is surgery. So these are for things of like trauma healing. Like when I say PTSD, this isn't something I can look in the mirror and say, you're strong, you're powerful, there's no need to be paranoid about people, you're not in the military anymore, nobody's trying to shut up. That's not something I could have did for myself. Myself is what is experiencing these things from what I went through, right? So shadow work and mirror magic and these things are like stitching yourself up, giving yourself a band-aid. You can do those things. It's kind of painful, and you have to be powerful to do it yourself. But some can. Now, some will say, hey, I can take it, but I need you to stitch me up. Some people are not going to sit there and actually stitch themselves up. It depends on where your consciousness is, where your heart and your mindset. And if you can't, that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. You might be built for different things. Understand, some people disassociate. You know what I'm saying? Some people do. Everybody has a different way that they respond when they get into stressful environments, right? So I'm saying all that to say that, so for us at the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit, we were not trying to give the understanding or the thought process of we can heal you. We'll talk you through this. We'll work with you. No, 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 no. I'm trip sit for you. I'm going to give you these 7 grams. You're going to go in the dark room. You're going to lay down, and I got your back. If anything happens to where you need to be guided, you need to get to the bathroom, you about to jump down the stairs or some crazy shit, or you just want to run outside naked, I'm not going to allow it to happen. I got your back. But outside of that, these mushrooms got your healing, right? These mushrooms. Now, this was my first entheogen of use. So when I came into the realms as a healer, right, I came through the plant medicine first, dealing with diet, nutrition, health. I was teaching dietary law. Then I was introduced to the fungi, right? The fungi teachers of the kingdom, right? And so then I started utilizing that. That had been something that I utilized probably the next 10 to 15 years, right? And so I have dealt with it a whole lot. But while I was dealing with it and adding on to my practices as a medicine man, then I started becoming more introduced to other modalities, such as the ayahuasca. And once I got introduced to the ayahuasca, I knew that mushrooms was moving this way. So Cambo, ayahuasca, mushrooms. Cambo for the cleansing and the healing. Excuse me. Cambo for the cleansing and the detoxification and the protection. Ayahuasca for the healing, because that's what she does, because she's a plant medicine. Everything that she deals with is terrestrial. Your dramas are terrestrial. Your pains are terrestrial. Excuse me. Understand that magic mushrooms are extraterrestrial, which means it deals with things, shows you things, and takes you places outside of the terrestrial. When it comes to healing, dramas, traumas, shit from our life, PTSDs, all of these different mental and emotional imbalances, extraterrestrial is not what we need. Terrestrial is what we need, because everything that we went through was terrestrial. Don't speak on the soul. Don't think too deep. Everything you went through was terrestrial. Now, you might have sent up negative physical, mental, and emotional things that caused your spirit to shake and rock, and to actually to start to deal with other spirits and entities that you probably didn't need to, which is why when people keep rushing to these different modalities to tap into spirituality to answer their life questions, I'd be like, hold on now. Are you even in tune with the correct spirits? What I have witnessed is a lot of people are spiritual, but they tapped into the wrong motherfucking spirits. Your soul is the only spirit that you should trust to answer things for you. So what you need to do is get what's divine linkage, which is with yourself and your character and your actions. Create a spirit that is in tune with your soul, because you can create spirits within yourself. So when you rush back to these spiritual essences to get your answer, yeah, but did you create that spirit? So when we deal with the extraterrestrial energy of the magic mushrooms, for me, this is not something that I would say when I go in on a trip. If it tells me something, automatically I'm like, all right, that's it. Whatever it said, I'm about to do it. Nah, that's not really. So I've seen people now are starting to use the mushrooms in a religious manner, and I don't like that. When you use them in a spiritual manner, I like that. But I don't like that a lot of people are not tapped into themselves and their soul. They're tapped into the spirit that they've created within themselves. I've got enough practice in all of these different realms and all of these different schools of thoughts to see things that I say people might need to be a little bit more careful, but that ain't my business, right? I'm here to talk about the mushrooms. So that's what I'm doing. So when it comes to that, I just want y'all to know that's why my clients that come to me and they be thinking, oh, he gonna take me right in the mushrooms, and we like, nah, we gonna do this Cambo and then we gonna do ayahuasca. Because by the time you get to doing 7 grams of mushrooms, I want you to be able to travel. I want you to be healed already. So I don't use the mushrooms as a healing modality any longer. I did when that's all that I had and all that we had access to. But now, as a practitioner, learning the different realms and understanding and utilizing that all of these different kingdoms, the mineral kingdom, plant kingdom, fungi kingdom, animal kingdom, and kingdom of man, all of those are important in the harmony of the ecosystem of the planet Earth, right? And they're also all needed in the harmony of the ecosystem of the human body, because we and the Earth are one and the same. Literally, she is a representation of us on a macrocosmic, and we are a representation of her on a microcosmic. And then when you even go into the fractal realms, our cells are replicas of our universe. Come on, talk to me. I talk back. Talk that shit, because I talk that. You feel me? Where y'all at? You feel me? So when you get to looking at it like that, you say, oh, well, then that means that we need to heal ourselves just like we deal and heal with the planet Earth. Exactly. Exactly. So these mushrooms, I utilize them mainly for travel. But I want to be healed. I want to be already in tune. I want to be protected and detoxified before going in all this. And for me personally, now having access to the snake venoms and understanding that, you know what I'm saying, intertwining with the venoms and the DNA structure and the wisdom of all of these years being encoded into us and giving us access. And then after experiencing that, going in and doing the mushrooms or the bufo, shutting your system down, popping it back up on the like with the phones, right? When you get an upgraded system, it's like, yo, it's got an update, and then it gets all the information and it shuts down and it starts back over under those operating systems, just like that. So by the time you get doing the 7 grams of mushrooms, you know what I'm saying, I feel like there should be some Cambo has been done, some ayahuasca if you have traumas and dramas that you need to heal from. I would not advise the mushrooms for healing. I advise those for, even though I used them for years like that, I advise them for travel. And when I say travel, what do I mean? I mean, so the higher the dosage, the more gas you have. When you at the 7 gram range, you're outside of the self. That's what I mean. Y'all gotta remove the veil. So you outside of the self, but now you kind of like out there in the realms of, and you're able to move through the Akashic records. Once you get around to like 9 to 11 grams, like the traveling gets more intense. Like you'll be able to witness things. You go into places and witnessing things. Like they start to become clear, like you're witnessing things, right? Once you get into like the 12 and the 16 gram range, you like what they call that first person, like, yo, once you get into the 16 and 20 grams, you're actually touching down. And when I say touching down, I mean where just 4 grams away, you was witnessing shit like in the first person, like a video game. Now you're actually standing there. There ain't no witnessing nothing. You're literally there. You're touching down. You're at these places, these different dimensional, you know. For me, it was like I was in a trading post. It was like a market, a farmer's market, an intergalactic farmer's market. Now I had just gotten my transdimensional quartz crystal from Baba Kalinde. Just got it. So he was like, yo, let me know what you're using. I'm like, all right, bet. So I'm going in on this time and I'm using it. And so like I'm figuring out how to use this joint, but I'm also kind of like, yo, this is wild, because I'm seeing all of this intergalactic like fruits and vegetables and creatures and weapons, all of this shit hanging up, and individuals running around, and they look all different and like from different galaxies. This shit is like, as long as I've been doing mushrooms, this shit here had me wigged out, because I'm there. I'm not seeing this shit. I am there. So I'm like, oh shit, let me get back to the plan of what I'm doing. And I get back to using transdimensional. And as I'm moving, I'm walking and I'm looking down at my hand, and I'm like, I'm seeing feet. So I'm about to bump into somebody. So I had to stop. And when I looked up, and I'm looking at this big interdimensional bison head, big body motherfucker, he looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, oh shit, like this is the first time that I've ever been in the realm where I'm looking at something and it's looking at me back. Like, the fuck? It's looking at me like this ugly humanoid looking motherfucker, and he hits my hand. And I felt it. Like, what the? And listen, y'all, it fucked me up so bad because this is my first time interacting with anything else in another realm as long as I've been doing these mushrooms, right? But this is at the time was like, I think I was at 16 grams or something, like the highest was I had went. So I'm like, damn, this is what he talking about when they talk about touching down. So when I'm looking at him and he hit me, it was kind of like, what the? And I look back at him and I'm trying to make sense of this shit. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I ain't gonna front and act like, oh, no. I was really like, what the fuck? And he hit my hand again. Bow. And this time when he did it, that motherfucker spotted my shit. And when he hit my hand in this realm, while my body was in the bed, I'm in the farmer's market, another intergalactic. He slapped that shit out my hand on the earthly realm. I'm in the bed and my hand just opened up and say, phew. My transdimensional crystal went across the room. I had to come out the trip, come back to consciousness, jump up, like, what the fuck? And went over there and grabbed my crystal, because like I said, I just got it. I was so like, right? And so I got it, and I'm making sure it wasn't broke, and it wasn't broke, and I was like, all right. And I put that shit on the nightstand and went back in somewhere else. Like, fuck that. Look, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I can't do it. I gotta tell the truth, right? So, boom, a couple days later, Baba Kalinda hit me out. You went in on your yeah, I did. Yeah. What happened? Man, I get to telling them the stories just like I'm telling y'all. I get to that shit, man. He say, so you ain't go back in? I said, no, I ain't go back. Like, I went back, but I ain't go back to where I was at. He said, why not? I said, listen, man, that was the first time motherfucker slapped shit out my hand. Like, in the realms, like, I ain't know what this motherfucker do. He shoot lasers out his eyes or what? He say, ain't that what we trained for? I said, yeah. He said, well, you whoop his ass like you whoop anybody else's ass. I said, shit, say less. Next time, motherfucker try to slap shit out my hand, I'm beating the brakes off of their ass in the interdimensional realms. So that's what I'm telling y'all. No bullshit. Listen, I used to hear Baba tell the stories about fighting the jinns and going through these different realms, and I used to be like, yo, this shit wild, but like, where the fuck he be going to actually be going through? Now I get it, because you got to be in them higher realms. The more you take, the further you go. So now y'all understand what I mean when I say we utilizing these for travel, not for healing. It can, but it's a lot less compassionate. Let me be very clear. Me as a soldier prior service, the way they drug my ass, I was built for it. I was like, I knew, like, yo, like, you know what I mean? I was fighting it at first, and they was like, yo, fuck you. You can't fight this. You have no power over us in these realms. So that's what I went through first. It was like really, really. But then after I was like, fuck it, I realized, like, you just got to give in. You got to submit. Like, especially if you're trying to take power back, like, yo, give it up. And then if you feel like, here's your chance, then you go for it again, right? So I was like, fuck it. And I gave up. And when I gave up, they just started shredding my ass, just tearing me up. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm seeing that, and I'm going, wait, what the fuck? But I'm like, I'm conscious of it, and it's like, this ain't right in my mind, because I'm knowing from what's going on a conscious level, I'd be dead. So me just witnessing this must be something, and so I just went for it. So what I'm trying to say is, it's not very compassionate in the way it heals. And this is why I don't take my clients through it. Now, I've had prior service military individuals, and I'd be like, nah, you're just going to do 7 grams. Like, I won't take them through ayahuasca. I let them get the ayahuasca next. Because some of us, that type of love and compassionate energy, it sets us off. It doesn't make us comfortable. It doesn't make sense. And so the mushrooms actually make sense, and we built for it. But once the mushroom shreds you enough and it breaks that we be having, now we ready for ayahuasca, because when it's like, come here, let me hold you, we just be like, okay, all right, instead of hell no, you ain't gotta hold me, trying to fight it the whole time. Nah, you're not finna fight with my ayahuasca. I'm not even finna allow it to happen. If you got that type of energy, I will take you through 7 grams. But if you've been violated, you've been abused, you've been through traumas and dramas, and you looking for healing, I'm not finna sit here taking 7 grams of mushrooms. No. No, let's go get a seat with grandma, you know? So that's how that is. So the higher you go, you know what I'm saying, the more you're dealing with. Now, one of my next subjects, what about microdosing? Because let me be clear, I did high gram dosages for years. Somebody asked me about microdosing and started making some buzz in the community like 2017. Like, hey, can we get some microdoses from you? I'm like, microdoses? Fuck is that? It was like, like mushrooms be like in a real little amount. Like, what you mean? Like 2 grams, 3 grams? Nah, like a quarter of a gram. And I'm like, what the fuck would you do with that? Why? I don't get it. I'm confused. Like, I'm telling y'all the truth. And I'm like, nah, what? I wouldn't even do you like that. What are you gonna do with that? What the fuck, right? And they was like, you ain't heard about microdosing? I'm like, nah. And they was like, Silicon Valley, Steve Jobs, this and that. So boom, I got Steve Jobs' autobiography. I just started like research, like, wait, hold on, what is this oh shit, Silicon Valley, everybody down there microdose. Okay, LSD, okay, I know what that is. I know what that, but mushrooms too? Wait a minute, microdosing mushrooms. So I started studying. And I started seeing things like, when you microdose, you have to do 2 days on, 2 days off, because you'll build a tolerance. And I'm going, a tolerance? Man, I've been popping 12 grams every other, what the fuck? What are they, how long? What is this they're talking about? And so then it started having me like, what the fuck? Okay, they're just lying to people. They're lying to people. What is this bullshit I'm reading? So now I'm thinking that they're really just making shit up to sell products, right? So I'm like, all right, hold on. Let me check this shit out. Let me make some microdoses, right? So I made some microdoses and I popped one. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. Oh, this is dope, right? It was fun because I was sitting around trying to figure out what the fuck, and I was just feeling good. Like, all right, yeah, I can see this, but like, I don't know why I would do it, but like, I could see why I would do it, like, right? And then I read more, and it started talking about people with depression and anxiety and all of these, and I'm going, oh, because I had already been dealing with so many works, I wasn't dealing with those things anymore, right? So then I'm like, oh, I get it now. I get it. So I started taking the usage of them and paying attention to my emotions and my mental and all of these. Like, all right. And so then I'm like, yo, this is some shit. I can see where people coming from. And I said, you know what? But this whole idea of you need to microdose 2 days on, 2 days off, I feel like that's some bullshit. And I'll never really know unless I investigate. For those of y'all who know human design, I'm an emotional manifesting generator, and my authority is 1-3, if that's what they call authority or whatever. It's 1-3. So I'm an investigator martyr. So for those of y'all who know, y'all know when y'all hear me talking on these, that I know what I'm talking about because I'm gonna investigate. Y'all know that. I'm not gonna talk about nothing I don't know about. So I told myself I'm going to go on a 1-year gong. Well, gong is a certain amount of time that you put towards something, right? So I said I'm going to go on a 1-year gong. And I'm going to microdose every single day for 2018. Because, like I said, it was 2017 and I started investigating this. It was kind of late in the year, 2017, and I started microdose. So I said, starting January 1st, microdose every single day. So if what they say is true, then, by April, this shit should be like, you know what I mean? Like, I should be like not even feeling this shit, right? So I made me some 250 milligram microdoses. Made up hundreds of them, right? And bow, started taking them Jones. January 1st, 2018. Man, by March of 2018, I'm popping microdoses and I'm sitting at my table and I'm like, you know what? I need to create a HEPA filter. No, I said I need to buy a HEPA filter. So I'm going on, and this is for my mushroom growing, HEPA filter, high efficiency particle air filter, right? 99.9% contamination free. Real shit, right? It's like shit, $2,000 for the flow hood type. So I'm going on and I'm getting ready to order it. And like, Spirit says you don't need to order it. You have everything to make it in your basement. Mind you, at this time, I just took hold of this house. This house, I installed grow rooms. I own Go Green Installations. So I had installed grow rooms for these individuals over the years, and they had installed their own in this house. And they were trying to do a massive grow op. It didn't go the way they wanted, and so they offered the house to me. And I was like, shit, I'll take it. So understand that I moved into this house. I didn't know what was in it. I'm sitting at the table, and I'm like, what? Everything you need is in the basement. And I'm like, in the basement. So I go get a flashlight and I go in the basement and I start, you know what I'm saying, looking, and wow, this piece was here, this piece was here, oh, this was here, oh, this, and I'm like, oh, snap. And I went and got all this stuff and went upstairs and sat it there and reverse engineered a high efficiency particle air filter and created one that day sitting in my dining room. And I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? I was so amazed because I was like, how the fuck did I know any of that? And that's when I realized, oh shit, microdosing the mushrooms gives me the ability to tap into the interdimensional realms while staying here on the planet. So now I'm realizing not only is it good for the mental and the emotional and the different, you know, people who have these, but just tapping into things as a light worker. I do yoga on microdoses. Oh my goodness, totally different. I do Reiki after microdosing. Hold on, you as the Reiki practitioner as well as the person getting the Reiki, totally different. If you are any type of light worker, tarot cards, if you work, as we say, with the light, if you work in these realms as a practitioner and you're not utilizing the microdoses in your practice, I invite you to check that out. Psychonautdetroit.org, by the way. Anybody looking for anything, we're having for the next 48 hours, 25% off the entire site, by the way. Just thought I'd throw that out there. But anyway, so less than a quarter of the way into the year of microdosing, I'm already increasing my finances, my relationships, my intuition, my practices within the shamanistic. I mean, every single thing that I did, I was able to do better. I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. Shit, like by October. No, actually 2 days ago was the anniversary. This is October. Right. 2018 October, I came to Florida. I don't even remember what floor, just some vacation. I don't know, right? But I remember that at that time, I was running low on microdoses. And I'm like, oh, snap. And so I had to order. No. I was out of town in Florida and I was like that. And I was like, oh, snap. I don't have no mushrooms that are ready when I get home. Because I knew I was going out of town. Everything that I had got rid of, so whatever it was, right? I'm like, damn, I need to make some more for the last few months of this microdosing. So I reached out to somebody and they gave me what's a brand, a genetics called Mazapatec. Those of y'all in the mycology world, y'all know what I'm talking about, the Mazapatec. Listen, grinded them Jones up, made some microdoses, and they were horrible. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me explain something. For the last, 15 years plus probably, I've been eating once a day. I learned that moving with the body, right? Moving with the body to 5%. So I eat once a day. That's my general thing, right? Like 6, 7 o'clock. All right, I'll eat something. Before that, like I'm drinking juice, water, coffee. You know what I mean? I'm acclimated to not eating. So when I started taking the microdoses, the Mazapatec, by noon, I am starving. And when I say starving, I don't mean like, oh man, I'm hungry, I need to eat something. No, I mean it literally feels like my large intestine is starting to eat my small intestine. Those mushrooms, for whatever reason, caused me to have to eat. They was like, fast? What? Don't eat till the end of the day? You foolish. I want all that energy and more. So that's when I realized the type of mushroom that you use to microdose can alter what type of benefits you get from the microdosing. See, this is something they don't talk about. They talk about it like it's an across-the-board thing. And this is why I like to have one-on-one conversations instead of across the board, because I like to get these intricacies so people can understand that you might buy these microdoses from me and love them. And then next month, you order some more and you get them and you be like, yo, what is those? Because they really had me feeling like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's like why, one, now what do? I mix them all together. So you have all of the teachers and none of them are overpowering. They all work together. I have never had anything uncomfortable happen when I have a mix. So we have the pad mix when we do the microdoses, aka the road openers. And those are, it's kind of like it's a university instead of a college. Whatever it is that you might have to tap into, you got a teacher in there that'll assist you in tapping into that. And then you have the motivation and inspiration from the rest of the teachers in there to motivate you through that. So, that was the change. But once I got back, I went and got some different ones. I think I got Karumba next. I think I had got a crop that came out by that time. And I was like, yo, let me make my own, and had to remake them so I can go back to eating the way I want to, because the Massive Attack was aggressive, right? So the microdoses, I did it from 2018, January 1st to December 31st. And December 31st, when I popped that 250 milligram, it worked. So let me just tell y'all, this whole, you have to take days off. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. I did not grow a dependency to them a year straight, 365 days. I would go in and do, 15 grams and a tab. And then when I come back the next morning, I get up and I microdose. Fuck is you talking about? What are they talking about? Bring them to me. We could talk about it. Because I don't know where they getting their information from, but I know where I got mine. Experience. So I just want to throw that out there when it comes to the microdosing. All right, so what else? All right, so the macrodosing, which is basically what I call, the utilization of these lower gram dosages. Am I against it? Hell no. Nah. I just specialize in other things. And now that I am an psychedelic informed integration coach, now I'm willing to take people through 2 grams, 3 grams, and ride that emotional body, deal with the different discussions. So now I'm stitching you up. Things you could do yourself. Your shadow work, we can do that. I'll do your shadow work with you. You can get a 2-gram shadow work session with me. Your mirror magic, I can lead you through that. You know what I'm saying? I can lead you through that should you need, right? So it's like now I'm like, okay, yeah, but I still want people to understand that when we're dealing with these lower grams, we're dealing with things that you can yourself, through self-discipline and courage and walking the path, assist yourself in. There's a lot of dramas and traumas that people hold that they can themselves get their way out of and heal themselves. Then there's some that are deeper than that. And for those ones that are deeper than that, we go 7 grams and above. But to those ones that are lower than that we can deal with, then very, very useful. Very useful. It's all about how you want to approach, your healing, your character growth and development, or your spiritual attunement. Because those are the things that we deal with, So let me think. Anybody got any questions? You know what I'm saying? Comments, concerns? Did I make anything unclear or anything? Let me think. What else? Because I wanted to talk about, all the different levels. So I dealt with the microdosing, we dealt with the high gram megadosing, we dealt with the macrodosing, who, what, when. Oh, how, how. Okay, very important. I get a lot of frequently asked questions about this. All right, so you got your 7 grams, and you like, all right, so can I mix them up with some pizza and cook them on the pizza and eat them like that? No, no. Well, what if I grind them up and then soak them in the lemons and then throw it back like a shot? No, no. What if I mix it with some peanut butter and chew it? No. Okay, so let me go back to the beginning. What is a mushroom? Y'all remember when we spoke about it, right? All right, so if we're looking at that, what is a mushroom, right? The sexual organ of mycelium. Can you speak on iboga and magic mushrooms? Oh, wow. So can I speak on iboga and magic mushrooms? Yes, I can. Am I qualified to teach about iboga and magic mushrooms? No, I'm not. So let me be clear. When I speak on iboga, I do have iboga. We do utilize iboga. We do not utilize iboga in ceremonial high gram usage. I'm not qualified, so I don't approach it. I don't touch it. I have people who come and try to get iboga for their own uses. I don't condone it, and I don't allow it. I don't give it to them, right? So when we're dealing with iboga, we're dealing with utilizing it in a um, secondary quiet observer type of form, low dosage, low usage, and we use it alone because it's for different things. So I'm saying all that to say, even though we do utilize practices with iboga and separate magic mushrooms, we don't utilize them together. So I really have nothing to say about it. I'm not pro, like, oh man, if you do, let me know. I'm not against it. Like, don't do that. That's not right. I'm just not qualified. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But when we utilize it, we use iboga strictly by itself. So I will say that. Now, mushrooms is like, to me, is like the garlic of the entheogens. Like that should go with everything, right? I won't use mushrooms with bufo. I won't use, because bufo is monogamous. Bufo wants to be you and it. That's it. That's it. You and it. That's it. Now, if you smoking cannabis before you get there, I'm not tripping on that. You know what I'm saying? But any other entheogens or any other, don't drink no coffee, no tea, nothing. Just you and it, right? Um, Mushrooms and iboga I won't do because of, like I said, just the lack of qualification. What I was trained in was the microdosing and the secondary observer aspects of it. I don't go no further than that. Mushrooms and LSD, mushrooms and MDMA, mushrooms and ketamine. Apparently, that one I have not experienced myself, but they say mushrooms pretty much rides with everything, right? For the most part, outside of those exceptions and whatever other exceptions that somebody might know out there, I'm not familiar with. Me personally, though, this is where I was going with it. When we talk about can I do all of these other things with it, what I like to tell people is keep in mind you are going on a spiritual experience. You are having sex magic with the intergalactic god or goddess. Okay? So when you talk about putting it on peanut butter and mixing it with this and crushing it up, what you're really saying is, I want to see what that feel like, but I want to put a paper bag over your face. You know what I'm saying? I want to put stuff over you to disguise you because you are ugly to me. You're nasty to me. You don't taste good. Can you imagine, you know what I'm saying, having sex magic with an intergalactic goddess, and while you know, giving her cunnilingus, you say, ugh, you taste bitter. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she can understand you, that should probably stop, right? So, for me, this has always been a spiritual practice. And so, for me, I've always approached it that way. It's like it's an honor. We know from the human bodies that this is not something that is, this is so good. Like, and the point of us thinking that it should be shows a little bit something about us as a civilized, uncivilized people. If y'all understand what I'm saying, why should a sacrament taste like candy or a muffin or whatever? Like, it's a holy sacrament. And so the chewing and swallowing of it is the part that we are showing our humility and our appreciation for what we should get, right? So for me, I'm from the school of chew and swallow. Master Civilization said, how should we take high dose, 20 plus magic mushrooms? Just chew it or grind it and put it in the tea. So that's what I'm speaking of now. I've always chewed and swallowed. I've always chewed and swallowed. And the more that I have to chew and swallow, the more honored I am. Now, I'll be honest with y'all, they have a new type of mushroom that's going around called leucistic and albino, right? Leucistic and albinos, those mushrooms lack tannins. They lack pigmentation, so they're white or milky white or creamy looking, right? Albino, A plus, albino penis envy. These mushrooms should be white. If somebody else telling you albino penis envy and they're the classic tan and brown and all of that, they're not albino penis envy. That's the whole point of albino. And I'm saying this to say that the albino and leucistic lack the tannins. The tannins is where that flavor of hay come from. So these mushrooms are a lot more palatable. Just to throw it out there. So if that's your number one thing, then look for the albino or the leucistic. Tell them you want your mushrooms to be white like the new school, not brown and tan like the old school. So there's a little of that. But outside of that, yeah, chew and swallow. I did a variation one time with some granola, and the actual experience was coated. And I was like, I get it. It's kind of like shit. You contaminated your own message. It's coded. It's coded. They stopping me from getting. Instead of me getting what I was supposed to get, like I've always done. Every time I go in, boom, I'm going in. Like that's why people talk about sex on mushroom and this and that and all these other things. I've never experienced none of that. Never. When I take them, as soon as my shit hit, I go to work. I go into different realms or see different things. I'm going different places. It's like, damn, I want to have sex on mushrooms too. So I don't know. Like I guess it's kind of like since I got a security clearance, like it's all work, no play for me. A lot of things that people be talking about that they experience, I'll be like, damn, that's dope. I wish that I could see and go to places that y'all go, because me, I go to work. So everybody does something different. That's why when people ask me, well, what these do? When people call me or hit me up for these organic technologies, and then I tell them, okay, it's well, what you mean what they do? Like if I told you what they do to me, it don't do that same thing for you. So I don't know. You tell me what it did after you take 7 grams. You feel me? Because that's what I be telling them. Like, go in on 7. Go in on 7. Let that be your first thing. Go ahead and do whatever needs to be done. Let them take over. If you're going in on these lower dosages, I'm telling you, your perception, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions are altering your shit. That's just how I feel. Have you heard of stomach aches or intestinal discomfort? This happens to me often. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you. Peace, God. Master Civilization Builders asking the right questions because this is something that I did not touch on. How do you do it? Every time that I know I'm going in on my 7 or more, I fast all day. I don't eat nothing. Mushrooms are very, very, very particular about cleanliness. And that's not just when you're growing them, that's when you're eating them and utilizing them. If you know you're going on a 7-gram trip or more, I advise you to go ahead and get your diet right 2-3 days before you go on the trip. And the day of the trip, fast. Isn't this a spiritual experience? Okay, if you can't fast for a day, then you have other things you need to focus on, such as your physical self-discipline. That's from me to whoever is offended. If you are, I'm sorry, but I'm still telling the truth. If you cannot fast, unless you have a medical condition that causes you to have to consume something, and if you do, you still have other things that you need to worry about before we can jump down on 7 grams. This is how I feel. This is how I teach. One of the first things that we need to get done as a people is our self-discipline and our dietary habits. So you want to get your diet right 3 days before and the day of, fast. Drink water, drink juice, drink tea. Hell, if you want to drink coffee, I don't care. For me, I drink water all day. And then about 10, 11 o'clock, when it's nighttime, I always go in at night. I ain't one of these daytime, I'm outside, and that I'm not knocking it. I'm just not one of them. The way that I've always received everything that I've ever done is nighttime use. That's how I got it when I first started. That's how I've been doing it since. I've done some daytime trips, and like it just, my consciousness is intertwining and contaminating the messages. And so that's more of what I would call recreational use. That's just me. No matter how high grams that you're going, if you are up and moving around and trying to see things, I feel like you're contaminating it. I always say go in at night, no music, no candles, no phones, no nothing. Darkness, get the messages. You know what I'm saying? After 6 to 8 hours, boom, then it's over. And when you come back, yo, eat you some pineapples. You know what I'm saying? Eat you some fresh fruits. Eat you something that is in harmony with your body. You know what I mean? And then integrate. What? Integration. Okay. I think we've talked about all of the mushroom-ish, right? We at an hour exactly right now. Last thing that we gonna talk about, unless I get some comments, questions, and concerns coming at me, is integration. Let me just take a minute and be very, very open and honest. I just went and got my psychedelic informed integration coach training approximately 2 years ago. I think my first class. I had not helped anybody integrate their experiences in all of the years that I've been practicing. And once I went and I got the training and I got the understanding of integration and what it is and how it works, I realized and understood that I did every single person that has been in a 7-gram mushroom journey with me a disservice. I have actually apologized to people that I know that I take, like, I'm right now, anybody who has came to me, because there's a lot of y'all out there who have went through 7-gram journeys with me, I apologize to you all. I did not know the importance of integration afterward. And if you want integration, I'm still here for it. Right? So that is the I learned now that's the bread and butter of what you go through. Like when you okay, so watch this. I always give this example. Those of us who got a little bit of age in us, we remember the TV show Mission Impossible. Not the movie, the TV show. Now, walk with me on this one, y'all. The dude, cool as hell, you know what I'm saying? Gonna walk up with his little suit and glasses. He walks up to the outside bar. He's like, yo, give me a martini. He looks forward, and when he turns back around, there's a martini and a computer in front of him. And he opens the computer and he presses the button. And the motherfucker comes on, he says, your mission, should you choose to accept. And then he goes through this entire explanation of the bad guys and what they doing and what he has to do and how he has to do it. He has to break into this building that's impossible to break in. He has to do all this shit that's impossible to do. And then again, and this message will self-destruct in 5 seconds. And then the guy grabs his martini, he turns around, puts his glasses on and walks off, and the motherfucking computer blow up, and everybody goes, ah, and he walks away all cool, and then it's like, and then it goes to a commercial. That was a 7-gram journey. That's it. Integration is when the show comes back on and that motherfucker goes and actually does everything that dude said was an impossible mission, but if he chose to accept it, this is what it is. That's where the integration comes in. Okay, well, how do I have to do this? All right, well, I have to take this and I have to put this here. I have to be here for this. I have to make sure that I'm aware of this. I got to always make sure nobody sees this. This is integration. What you just went through in that trip, how do you take that and apply it to your life going forward? How can you say that this was one of the most profound experiences that I went through when nothing changes? Okay, well, how do I make the changes? That's what integration is about. Mentally, how do I make the changes? Physically, how do I even be aware of the things that needs to be changed and that needs to be improved? What do I need to continue? What do I need to cut out? Right? So this is where, for my peoples, after we go through this, a lot of them start taking the Intentions and Manifestation workbook. You know what I'm saying? This is the 90-day one-on-one that we do. And they through magic, turn themselves from lead to gold, right? It's the alchemy of self. Because it's like, now I know what it is that I need to be. This is the mission that some people think is impossible. It's not impossible. I just went to another dimension and seen some shit. You can't tell me some shit's impossible. I know it is. That's the attitude I need. And now that we coming out of that, let's integrate that. And then we go through the 90 days of changing them into whatever it is that they seen that they needed to be. Proper integration, proper attention, intention. Oh my goodness, it's the best part of the trips. So any type of journey, ayahuasca journey, and then integration. Mushroom journey, and then integration. Snake venom therapy, and then integration. Cambo, and then integration. What if you do integration after Cambo? Do you know how amazing your life will be? Because it makes you so aware of the things that you bring in through your consciousness, through the panima, right? The things that you see, right? It changes your your taste buds. Now you don't want to eat those things that are harmful to you. Those things that you like, those who have a problem getting off of cheese and all that. It's a detoxifying agent. It detoxifies you. So after that, you are aware of every toxic thing that you take in your body. I'm a cheese lover. After I do Cambo, don't offer me no cheese. Nah. I gotta wean myself back into it. Why? Because the first time you eat something that has that phlegm in it, as soon as you bite it and get to chewing it, your body's going, your stomach like, right? So so if you integrate that, like you literally are integrating this into your diet and nutrition to where you're starting a new dietary law for yourself. Trust me, y'all, I've been through all of this shit. Like I said, I don't talk about nothing I ain't been through. I'm a 1-3, human design, emotional manifesting generator, 1-3. So when I talk about diet and nutrition, because that's what I study and that's what I taught my nation. You know what I'm saying? The body used to be at my house daily. I'm cooking, chefing. And when I'm serving the food, I'm teaching them about it. I'm teaching them the presence of it, what it is, what it has in it, what vitamins, what nutrients, what this is good for. Those of y'all who have these, don't eat this. Those of y'all dealing with this, don't do that, right? So it's like you can be conscious and aware. That's what I say. Don't have a certain diet. Be a conscious eater. Be a conscious eater. People like to play with me. I be sitting eating something. They be like, that got this in it. I be like, no, it don't. Read the ingredients already 6 times. I be the one in the restaurant walking off into the kitchen, looking at the box. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, 100% vegetable oil. I hear you. All right, my bad. Go ahead. Go back to what you was doing, chef. I'm not lying, right? You know what I'm saying? So, integration is one of the utmost important parts of whatever your journey is. So, you know, if you all are going somewhere and you're having your ayahuasca or your mushroom or your cactus, and these people don't offer integration afterwards, I have nothing to say about them, but I will tell you, you can come to the Psychonaut Academy in Detroit and deal with our integrations. You know what I'm saying? You can get integration here. You know what I mean? I'm aware of the importance of it. And so, you know, as a psychedelic informed coach, I know that there's a lot of people that are coaches for people who don't do integration. There are some workers who that's not what they do. They serve ayahuasca. They don't know nothing about no integration. Ain't nothing wrong with that. They have a specialty. You know what I'm saying? And then some people, you know, are also integration coaches on top of the different medicines and modalities that they're dealing with. So that's something that is important to ask. And if they don't have it, it's not something that's negative. Just, all right, just know you can come to the Psychonaut Academy in Detroit and get your integration afterward. It's not one of those, if you ain't get your medicine here, I'm not helping you integrate. Well, damn, really? Then you're not really in this for what you say you are you? You know, so I love everybody, and I want everybody to have proper integration because that's what makes the trips worth have taken. You know what I'm saying? Just to take it and have seen some dope shit and seen some nice colors and was told some shit that made me cry and laugh, and then I come back and I get right back into the life that I was once living. Nah, that's not how to do it, y'all. So I do one-on-one coaching. I do group coaching. You know, we do high gram dosage, gatekeeping and trip sitting, either or. There is a difference. If you know it, I do either or. If you don't, then don't worry about it. You know, we offer ayahuasca. We got an ayahuasca ceremony coming to the end of next month. The majority of the entheogenic realm work we do is done in Detroit, just to be clear. In Detroit, these things are decriminalized, so, you know, it's less of anybody to have to worry about. But I do have my protections under a couple of different organizations as a sacred plant and animal practitioner. So anywhere that I'm practicing at is church, you know, which is why, you know, I enjoy traveling around. Those of y'all who have hosted me in your city, y'all know how we get down. You know, we enjoy ourselves. We always get it in and popping. And I'm actually scheduling myself for a couple of tours coming up next year. So watch out for that. There's a couple cities that I've already just booked on the tour, like period. And based off of people requesting me to come to their cities, I'll be opening up more traveling medicine mentors. So how can one work with the pad? Fly and stay for a few days, then help with integration over the phone, etc. That's exactly how. Psychonautdetroit.org is the website. Psychonautdetroit.org again. You can go there and you can request a consultation if you like. when you get a consultation, anything that you purchase or decide to take in as maybe your modality of works, the cost for that will come out of that. So, but yes, we can do a one-on-one. We can do medicine work. We can do psychedelic work. I deal with everything. So psychonautdetroit.org. But I would tell you that if you get a consultation, that gives us the ability to speak over the phone to one another, and that way, we can really pinpoint what it is that you're looking to do. If you go on the website and you just look for, ayahuasca is a seat with grandma, and there's other things that are spoken about in different ways, because usually these things are for people in a certain region. So I don't have to, but I kind of change the way I say it to where it makes the person be like, wait, what is it? I don't even know. Just because it's like, don't worry about that if you're not in that region. So depending on what it is we're dealing with, you can fly to Florida, or you can fly to Detroit. All we have to do is basically just decide on what it is that you're looking to do and the best place to do it. I get an invoice together for you, send it to you. Once the invoice is taken care of, then we go ahead and we schedule it. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you're at, to come to. Florida or Detroit. And if you're looking for me to come to your city, then that's a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more fees and things like that, but it could be worked out as well. But we got all types of different deals for different things, because some people want us to host where I come out and I give a lecture, and then after the lecture for the next 4 or 5 days we do the medicine works. So it's like it gives people the ability to actually learn about it and then do that over the next few days. So we have that packet available, you know what I'm saying? So I got all kinds of deals. I've been traveling, I've been enjoying just meeting people all over the US. We working on getting me into different countries now, so I'm excited about that. Stay tuned. Y'all gonna hear about it for sure, for sure. But 2024 is definitely got plans for a whole lot of things. I'm gonna be in a few different cities and states. We're gonna be having ayahuasca. We're gonna be having cacao ceremonies, rape ceremonies. We're just really getting back to the basics. What somebody told me is that basically we do so much and got so high that, you know what I'm saying, that we don't really look at the basic things that a lot of people are still coming into this stuff that they don't know about, and that we should still be available to introduce those things to them. And I'm like, damn, I ain't think about that. You're right. It is a lot of people out here who still don't even know what rape is, who don't know what sanang is, who never experienced it, who don't know that cacao is a heart opener. You can use cacao and a microdose and have a counseling session out of this world. When I do my couples counseling, we all doing a microdose. We gonna all microdose as soon as you show up. We gonna sit, drink our tea, our juice, if we smoke or do whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching this video, excuse me, but cannabis will be used during the recording of this video, right? We gonna sit, we gonna smoke if you smoke. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna drink some tea, some coffee, and we're gonna get some time for the microdoses to kick in. And when those microdoses kick in, right, now it has calmed your egotistical state. It has calmed the want to have to protect yourself. So now, when couples are talking to each other and they're speaking on how they feel about what somebody is doing to the other one, and it's like that, the other one isn't so quick to, no, well, that's only because, and it's like, damn, baby, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it. And they don't even know where all this compassion is coming from. You understand? But when you mix that with the cacao, if y'all don't know about cacao, I invite you all to take part in the next cacao ceremony that you see that is offered wherever. Even if it ain't mine, I don't care. I'll go to cacao ceremonies that people be having. Like cacao, oh my goodness. But so at our cacao ceremonies, then we'll mix in, after you take the cacao, I'll come around and I'll give everybody a choice of a microdose or rape. And listen, listen, once that heart is open, if you ain't had a microdose or rape after your heart's been open, oh man, like you really don't know cacao or rape. So we're gonna have a whole lot of events coming. We're gonna be doing a whole lot of things back to the grassroots, back to introducing people to things. You don't have to be a professional psychonaut to take part in shit that we have going. I realized what people were saying. It was like, as a village, a lot of us grew together. So as we grew together, we just kept creating things for us. And people was like, hey, what about us down here who don't know nothing about this shit? Do you have good rape to sell or a recommendation? I wish I had my rape box in front of me right now so I could just open it up. Shout out to Chief Nighthawk, man. That was my brother, man. Listen, shout out to Chief Nighthawk. Rest in peace to my brother. Um, respect to Mama Clark. Um, Chief Nighthawk is the one who got me started on my rape collection. You know what I'm saying? Dooley and Chief Nighthawk was knocking my head off with that rape back in 2020 at the conference. Those of y'all who know, we had the after party at the pad. Not that after party from the last one, the one before where all of the medicine men was there. You know what I'm saying? It was me, Dooley, Nighthawk, Archeon. It was some more heavy hitters too that ain't, you know what I'm saying, necessarily medicine men, but it was definitely a big dog meetup. And you know what I'm saying, we was in there doing rape and doing Sananga and you know what I'm saying, all type of shit. And so when Nighthawk got ready to leave, I was like, yo, I'm known in the community for bullying the market, right? It's like I'm like, yo, if that's a commodity and we need to have it, I need to have it. So anybody who has it, let me get that shit, right? But I don't debo them like snatching it. I be like, how much you want? You know what I'm saying? To walk away with, cause that's leaving with me. You know what I'm saying? So I hit Nighthawk like, wow. And Nighthawk looked at me, he was like, shit. And he said a price. And I promise you, in his mind, he thought I was gonna be like, oh shit. Oh, I was just wondering. I hit his ass that price. He said, I said, how much you want? Leave that whole thing with me. He said, woo, woo, woo. I said, hold on. I went upstairs and came back and cashed him out. He was like, oh, you for real? I said, yeah. He said, well, hold on. Let me get a couple of those out of there real quick. Yeah, he took out the ones that he wanted and he left the rest of them, you know what I'm saying? And from then on, I've been adding to my collection. Shout out to McCurba House. Listen, do I have rapes for sale? Yes. But McCurba House, yo, she the plug. She the plug. She got dope rapes, all different kinds. Her prices is definitely better than mine. You know what I'm saying? You can put in some bulk orders, all type of ish. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to McCurba House. She's doing a lot of stuff, man. Shout out, man. I always big ups to people in the community doing big things. She's doing big things. But if you hit her up for that rape though, for sure. But yeah, we do have rape. It is for sale. I do got some recommendations. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Everything on the website right now is 25% off. Actually, I put on a 48-hour sale started yesterday at 6 p.m. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, rape is on there. You might want to get down on there. Recommendations. I like the ones with the mint. I like ones with mint in them. It's good for that. All because it's good. I mean, rape is good cleansing anyway, right? But that one is like a good one. Like in the morning time, you have a problem with congestion. Sit on the toilet while the water's running in the shower, so it's making it steamy in there. And do your rape while you sitting on the toilet and hold that shit in until you get in the shower. Cause ain't nobody in there but you, and you can just and wash that shit away. I love rape before the shower, yo, it's really dope. If you going into like meditative practices or you know what I'm saying, some shit where you're trying to get your consciousnesses up, you know what I'm saying, there's different ones. If you're trying to ground, Canela del Velho. Oh my goodness, even speaking her name made me shiver. Listen, y'all, if it's ever one rape I'm scared of, it's Vanilla del man, I don't even want to Canela del Velho. Canela del Velho. She drugged me and my minister. Yo, shout out to my pastor. Shout out James. That's my brother, my big brother, man. I love you. Yo, drug us, man. Drug us. So when I talk about a humbling one, that Canela del Velho, that's one for like, yo, if you think you a big dog, hop in with that one. Yeah, all right. Keep in mind, I got a nice rape collection. I'll be blowing. And, whoo. Anyway, man. So, man, we came to talk about the mushrooms, man. The science of them, you know what I'm saying, what they are. Canela del Velho. Yeah, man. Look, reading that shit made me go, Listen, listen. I'm not joking. I'm telling you right now. This is one that is said that you need to wean your way onto. Like, so if you like a heavy rape doer, like you do rape, right? And you like, oh, I do this shit, and you blow yourself half a gram of this shit in each nostril, yo, son, you're not gonna, that was not gonna be a wise decision, God. Listen, I'm telling you right now, I'm on live. And I'm being very clear. To say some shit to be like, all right, whatever, let me see. I wouldn't. If you're gonna actually use that, I bump that shit a little bit. Like just put like a little tip of the, I don't know if I feel mine on my fingernail, right? A little tip of the fingernail in there, little tip of the fingernail, and let that shit for a minute. And if you feel like you could do some more after that, or you want, or you need, but that's and then if you want to do a little bit more and a little bit, that's what they saying is wean your. Don't go on there and do no. All right. Salute. I'm gonna let you do what you want. I know I was laying on the floor, like literally, like trying to get up, and my man, you know what I'm saying? Because what I do is when people come to the pad and they like, oh, I want to do some rape, I'm like, all right, bet. And whatever one they pick, I do it first so that, you know what I'm saying, when I'm blowing the rape, I'm in tune with the spirit that they using, right? I'm tapping into the rape. I'm submitting to the rape. I'm being one with the rape. This is medicine that I'm not utilizing. I'm letting it utilize me and my breath to deliver it into whoever this is taking this rape, right? So I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and do it first. You know what I'm saying? So I can be in tune with this shit. I got myself applicator. Now, when I did the first one, I knew something was up, right? But keep in mind, I'm doing this shit to tap in to give him his. So I'm trying not to dilly or dally, play in the alley, but to give a dog a bone, right? I don't even know if that's how it go, but I continued on, refilled the coupe, and blew that other, and that's just it. I said, oh shit. I said, yo, you ready? He said, yeah. I said, okay, come on. I got to load that shit up. Now, the whole time I'm loading it up, all I want to do is lay down, right? So he's sitting there, I said, he said, oh, shit. I said, I know, hold on. Let me get the other one. Let me balance you out. Hold on. And I get to rubbing his head. I said, come here. Immediately, I got to rubbing the top of his head and shit. And I'm like, oh, shit. And he sat back like that. And when he sat back like that, I said, okay, cool. And I sat down, and I sat back like that. Like, oh. And we both sat back like that and just kept going lower and lower. And by the time 15 minutes was up, we was both on the floor. So I'm trying to encourage this brother, right? But to encourage him, I have to be on my shit. Okay? Shout out to James. So I'm like, let me get my shit together, right? So I go upstairs and I hop in the shower. And I am not okay, okay? I am not okay. Okay? So I take a shower. I hear him say, 7. I say, oh shit. I done left this man down here unattended while he getting drugged by this motherfucking Canela Del Velho. Oh shit. Let me get out the shower. Whoop, whoop. Now ain't nobody here but me and him. So I'm thinking I'm proper if I just wrap the towel around me and go downstairs. So I go downstairs like, yo, what's up? What's up? You all right? He say, hey man, go get dressed. Oh shit. Okay, my bad. So I run back upstairs, I jog, and I am not okay. I just really want to lay the fuck down, but I'm trying to figure out the fuck going on with him. So I go and get dressed, and I come back down the stairs, and I'm like, what's up, man? What you need? He said, man, I'm fucked up. I said, I know, me too. He said, what the hell was that? I said, Canela Del Velho. He said, what it do? I said, I don't know. I ain't used it until today. And I laid back next to him and shit. And we laid there for probably about 45 minutes to an hour. And then I got up and I got us some water. And we was able to regain our composure and shit. And Canela Del Velho, you know what I'm saying? She heavy. And then when I read about it, it was like, yeah, not something that you want to just, and I'm like, regardless of how long you've been using any other rape, no, just be careful because this is my power shit. So there it is. You know what I'm saying? You've been warned. You know, microdosing first before doing rape? Hell yeah. What? And then Sanaga? And for those who don't know, repeated amounts of Sananga. Oh my, repeated. Yeah, you really don't start feeling until you get to like the third or fourth. Like, oh, okay. It stopped burning after like the second one. And when I say stop burning, I mean like shit, it didn't happen enough to where your eyes is kind of acclimated to it. So it might even still, but you just don't really, you know what I'm saying? It'd be like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the first ones was like, whoa, whoa. It's like that's what you're doing is you get them acclimated. Once they get acclimated, you get to that third and that fourth application, especially when you outside, especially early morning or late evening when you can sun gaze. Oh my goodness, putting these practices together. Don't talk about it. Oh my goodness, talk to me. I talk back. Talk that shit because I talk that. But listen, y'all, I said this video was gonna be about an hour. We about an hour and a half in. You know what I mean? So if we ain't got no, hold on, we got some comments on here. We got, oh, laughing my ass off. Yeah, I'll be silly on some shit sometimes, but I be dead ass though at the same time. But if we ain't got no more questions, comments, and concerns, you know, I think that we've really touched on everything with the mushrooms. You know what I'm saying? The usage of them. You know, am I a recreational user promoter? Nah. But am I against it? Nah. You know, I just feel like shit. Eventually, you gonna fuck around and find out if you meant to. Because some people don't got security clearances, so that's all you're gonna do is see a unicorn or some Smurfs or I don't know. Apparently, because I've heard that people when they trip that I'm like, oh, you ain't got no security clearance. So it's like, let me entertain you for the next few hours until we send you back because you're not getting to here. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell you. Yes, I do. For your security clearances, listen, y'all, I didn't start off just smashing down a whole bunch of mushrooms. Let me tell you what I was doing for years before I even had a first mushroom. I was doing onerogen work, and I was doing meditation work, and I was tapping into higher realms and higher sources through these practices. And so my security clearance was already activated once I got into dealing with these. So I'm not saying you have to, but I would invite you to take part and practice in a lot of the what I would call medicines of man before getting into the minerals and the plant kingdom and the fungi kingdom and the animal kingdom. Um, the kingdom of man, which is like your prayer, your meditation, your magic, your manifestations, your self-discipline, your diet, your breathing habits, your yoga, your Reiki. Listen, if you ain't even started tapping into the magic that's within you yet, why go look for the magic in the other kingdoms? Now, I'm not against it, but I just invite you to pay attention to, you know, how or what it is that you're learning and where you're getting it and how you're getting it, right? So that way you'll know when you're ready for the next one, right? Because like I said, when I deal with my clients, we work with all of the different kingdoms. Can, can you please speak on the Yi Ming Zhu? Oh, wow. Just got some. I put them in the freezer until I'm ready. Want to just know how much to start off with so I can do cannabis to help with ego death. Oh my. I wouldn't have put them in the freezer. Ooh. I would have just put them somewhere where they were dry in a dark vacuum seal them, suck all the oxygen out the bag, you know, dry vacuum, and then put them in a drawer or something. That freezer thing, ooh, that might mess up the consistency of them because of the moisture in them once you get to thawing them out. Sorry. Um, um, so, how much to start off with? I always start off with 7 grams. And in the community, the people that I have been the people that I've been the gatekeeper for that have come through the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit over the last 15 years have all started off with 7 grams. Even the youth in the practices that are my youth, when they started off in their own practices, 7 grams. Weight, size, age, none of that matters. We're moving the veil. As you call ego death, is what we're actually shooting for. That's why we start off with 7 grams. I don't call it an ego death. I understand where you're coming from. It's a quite often used term. The way I explain it is under 7 grams, you're dealing with an altered state of perception. Anything over 7 grams, you're dealing with an altered state of consciousness. And that's what we're usually looking for and trying to utilize is the altered states of consciousness. Anything under that, your ego, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions get in the way and contaminate. Or he suggested putting them in the freezer. Oh, okay. Well, tell Oi I said I wouldn't advise that. You know what I'm saying? Again, vacuum seal them and put them in a dry place. I would not advise uh, drying, I would not advise freezing mushrooms in a conventional freezer. Now, if you have a freeze dry machine, that's a total different thing. So I don't know if that might have got lost in translation, but you do what you will. I'm not, you know what I'm saying, the law on it, but I would advise you to not freeze them, but to and the little silica packets that you could put to balance the air and moisture, I would advise to put them in there. If you don't have a vacuum sealer, put it into a glass jar with a couple of those and keep them dry and cracker dry and sealed in there if you don't have a vacuum sealer. But I never put mushrooms in the freezer. In all of my 15 years of being a mycologist and a worker and all of this, I've never put mushrooms in the freezer. So that's just, offered. Can I speak on the Yimingzhu? So that will be in a different live. I'm going to do a live on that one day. Yimingzhu are celestial stones. There are 2 celestial stones on the planet. One is jade and the other is Yimingzhus. There's ancient Yimingzhus, there's modern Yimingzhus. It is really a deep discussion, but they are celestial jewels. They are an intelligent life force that is using the rare crystalline body of the planet to body it the way that we use blood, skin, and bones to embody our spirit. It is said that if you have a Yimingzhu out there, it is looking for you already. They were once only really worn by royalty by bloodline. So the emperor, the 12, what is the 12 dynasties? The families, the heads of those families, they all had matching Yimingzhus. Genghis Khan was said to have said amount of Yimingzhus in his crown, so you could see him coming at you in the middle of the night. You know what I'm saying? Because him and where he's sitting, it's glowing from his head. Yimingzhus emit their own light, and receiving a Yimingzhu is an honor. Activating a Yimingzhu is a mission. That is a quote that came out of my mouth some years ago that has been kind of adopted in the realms, and it's like, if you get one, it's an honorable thing. Let me just be clear. It's not the type of things like, oh, that sounds cool, let me get one. To be a little bit more direct, they're infinity stones. When you watch all of these different movies about infinity stones, these would be what they're trying to portray. So there are some very large, powerful ones held by, some powerful people in different realms. And apparently with what's going on in these realms right now and where we're going ahead in times, they are being blessed upon those who are worthy that are doing certain works within our planet. And so different people are being connected with their Yimingzhus more and more as time moves forward. It's starting to become something that, like, I've been in places where I'm mingling and kicking it with a lady, and I look over and I'm like, wait a minute, excuse me, miss, I'll be back. And I walk off from talking to her to go talk to my man's right here because he's wearing a Yimingzhu. Like, yo, my man's like, how you doing, bro? I'm doing good. How you doing? Where you get that? And when I ask, he knows exactly, and he'll look down and he'll look at mine and then smile, and then we'll start talking about it because it's kind of like, yo, what house is you a part of? Where you linked in at? Like, people aren't just walking around because they're cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Again, security clearances. So when you pair the Yimingzhus with the mushrooms, It's kind of like you going in with a key card where I'm opening any door. It's also like a protection. So when you're in interdimensional realms, like I told the story earlier about my man slapping my transdimensional quartz crystal out of my hands, I dare him to try it now. Oh my goodness, the protection that I have now in the realms, the things that I've acquired, the magic that I've been in tune with, the practices that I've done, and the fact that I've have multiple Yiming Zhus of multiple powers and multiple security clearances, you won't do that. You don't want to do that at all. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, if you've watched Doctor Strange, right? I commonly refer to myself as the Doctor Strange of our community. If you watch Doctor Strange, he has a cape. That cape protects him even when he is not aware of what is going on. Remember when he was trying to run this way and the cape was like, nah, stupid, grab this. He's trying to run. He's like, oh, yeah. All right, cool. Same thing. So when we go into the interdimensional realms, plus a lot of times we're traveling, especially off these high doses, now following in the footsteps and the travel paths of people like Baba Kalinde E and others who have paved ways of traveling into these different plank levels and different dimensions where a lot of times there is no light. So when you come in with your own light, it's like the man with one eye is the king of the, what is it? The man in the land of the, a man with one eye is king in the land of the blind. I'm coming into these realms and I'm bringing my own light. Not only are you going, you know what I'm saying, respect me coming, but you kind of like, yo, where's son coming from? How is he doing that? Because ain't nobody moving in these dimensions with light. So it serves a lot of different purposes. And, you know, to get one again is an honor. To activate it is a mission. What's the number one thing that you have to do in that mission to activate a Yiming Zhu? Create good boom. Create good boom. It's like, so, you know how they always talking about like safety measures, putting the powerful things? Yeah, your boom has to be correct for your Yiming Zhu to activate. For you to get the powers that this gives to individuals, you have to activate it. Your activation of the Yiming Zhu is based off of how you deal with the community. You have to build a good boom, which is think good thoughts, speak good words, and do good actions, right? And to me, the truth is good. Your emotional status, not so much needed for me to be good. For me to be wanted and accepted in a lot of circles, I might want to cater to your emotions and how you feel about things that I'm saying. But if I'm telling the truth, I'm doing good. And that's how I build my boom. I just think good thoughts, do good deeds, and speak good words. And that's what you have to do. And the more you do that, the more that you build your boom. What is boom? Boom is commonly confused with karma. Boon isn't here to punish you. So if you do something wrong, Boon isn't going to be like, oh, I'm going to level that. No. Boon is an accumulation of positive energy that's built up within you and your relationship with your universe. All of the practices that I practice motivate or continue life as a whole. I make wines and meads, which is feeding microorganisms and letting them feed upon and creating an alchemy drink, right? I'm an organic gardener, so I'm a farmer of worms, you know what I'm saying? Microbes, beneficials, bacteria, fungi. I am propagating fungi. I am propagating cannabis. All of the things that the earth is doing, I'm doing to assist her, and I'm doing them in an organic way, right? So these are the types of works that I'm involved with. And then in the community, I'm involved with healing, bringing you to a state of harmony so your internal band can play the way it's supposed to, right? If you're missing an instrument, we add that instrument. If you're out of tune somewhere, we get you back in tune. We got tuning forks of all kinds. We got instruments to bring you back into harmony with your divine purpose. So all of these different things that I'm doing, I'm actually in tune with the planet Earth and what she is trying to do. So I'm in tune with her. All of my words are honest and truthful, right? And so I'm never trying to deceive, right? So I'm not really worried about how people take me so much as I am with my quality of information that I'm giving. You can trust me. Now, am I going to make you happy and jittery and feel good all the time? No, I might say some things you need to say, like your self-discipline is off. And if you ain't got that right, like when I said that earlier, like if you can't go fast for a whole day, you got other shit you need to worry about than taking 7 grams, right? Some people would find that like offensive. And it's like, okay, but am I lying though? That's the type of energy that I'm talking about. So be it that this is the brand new introduction of the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit, I felt it very important to explain that about myself. I'm totally in tune and I'm totally happy with my decisions and the things that I say because I'm moving righteously in a righteous path and I'm adding on boom. I'm adding on boom and I'm going to tell y'all a story. You want me to tell you about the Yiming Jews? Let me tell you about the Yiming Jews. I got my first Yiming Jew out of the hand of Baba Kalinde E. And I was introduced to the family. And I even had connections with great individuals such as Peter Andreas. And we would sit on the phone and he would tell me about my dragon lineage, which I had just told my son 2 weeks before. I was on an acid and a mushroom combined trip and I downloaded a dragon's martial arts style. And I came down and immediately started teaching it to my son so I wouldn't lose it the next morning. I taught him while I was on them. And I'm showing him all of this different stuff. And I'm telling him we're part of a dragon lineage. 2 weeks later, I'm on the phone with Peter Andreas, and he's telling me about the dragon lineage that he sees in me. And I look at my son like, told you, right? And so conversations went on, and there was like a relationship that I felt was had, right? And so later on, in that conversation, he had informed me that I was going to get a Yiming Zhu from him. Okay. Now, I had already purchased the book from him, and the book was like months and it hadn't come. And so in the conversation, I was like, man, I can't wait till my book get here because then I'll be able to read and da-da-da-da. And he was like, your book hasn't got there? And I'm like, no. He was like, this should have been there by now. Hold on. The next day or the day after that, my book arrived. He said, the next time that something is supposed to come to you and it doesn't come in time, speak to me immediately. And I'm like, yes, all right, my fault, right? So time goes on. We had this conversation. He tells me he's going to send me a Yiming Zhu. All right. Some months go by. We're at the psychedelic conference, and I'm seeing a lot of people with a certain Yiming Zhu. And I'm like, oh, snap. Maybe that got caught up like the last one, the book did. So I hit up Peter like, hey, just so you know, I ain't received my blank, blank, blank yet. And he was like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, what do you mean what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Remember the conversation about da-da-da-da-da and blase split and yada yada. You know, you said you was gonna send me the blank blank. He was like, listen, man, that is for certain individuals on a certain path and that are doing certain things and this and this and that. He says, do you even know who Baba Kalinde is? Now let me be clear. I don't have a lot of practice in holding my tongue. So when I say this, I need you all to understand I did not think this through. And what I said really didn't reflect what or how I meant what I said. But my response was, yo, do you even know who the fuck you talking to? Listen, y'all, listen. The idea and the remembrance of you're talking to an elder who's a powerful individual in our community, it was not at the forefront. It was like, I'm talking to my family and everybody know how I'm taught, right? But this was not that situation. And I misread the room, right? And he was like, look, man, we're not even finna really go no further. Let me just be clear. I'm not finna send you shit. You ain't got shit coming. And you need to get your boom right. All right? Work on your boom. And I was like, all right, master. Yes, sir. And I hung up. And he hung up. And now, at that point, I was very confused at what the fuck just happened. And I was also very disappointed. But I had my instructions. Get your boom up. So at the time, I'm like, what the heck just happened? Right? So after some weeks go by and I'm talking to different people and they're like, why the fuck would you say that? And I'm like, I didn't mean it like that. I really meant like, yo, you know what the fuck you talking to? Like, you know the 7 records, I did call him out of nowhere. So I meant it like in the way of, yo, not like, yo, you know the fuck you talking to, but I didn't think about how he already feels about people from Detroit and this energy and all this shit. So they're like, yo, you need to apologize and shit. So I'm like, yo, you right. So I hit him up to apologize. Do. This message has been blocked. You have been blocked. You are blocked on everything. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay, you've offended the master, right? You just got to take that on the jaw. But I was given my mission. You need to work on your boom. And that's what I started doing. And I'm talking about that shit changed my life. To be clear, I started focusing on boom daily. Even my mate was like, at the time I had a mate, and she was like, damn, I can't say nothing. I'm like, no, because that's not good boom. I don't want to hear that. Don't call nobody ugly. Nobody's ugly. Only an ugly person will be able to see ugliness. Because self is the measuring stick of the world, so you can only see things from your sight. I only see beautiful people, right? So I was on some shit where it was like, boom was my shit, to where it was like a year or two had went by, and she had posted something about, you have really been on your boom, and it's been showing. And I was like, damn, I didn't even think about it. Check this out. Mind you, I'm blocked on all forums. February, which is 22nd, 2022, I get up and I go to check the mail. And I open the door and there's a package on my doorstep. And I'm looking like, what the fuck is that? And I'm reading it and it's all type of languages that I cannot understand. And I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, and I just opened it and I pulled out the Yimingzhu that started it all. And there was a letter that made me cry immediately. Because when I tell y'all that a week previous to this, I was sitting and explaining to somebody that my faith is gone and that I feel like everything that I've been doing is in vain. I don't feel like I'm getting the recognition. I don't feel like I'm, you know what I'm saying? It was so many things that I spoke about, and that a week later, it said, no good deeds go unrewarded. I was being recognized by an individual who has me blocked on all forms. But everybody who knows this individual knows that he's a very powerful individual, very magical. So like, we know how he's able to tap into. So he was able to see my boom from where he was at. He didn't have to know nothing on social media. And that year, you know, I made the paper. National Geographic did a documentary featuring me. It was just like, it was like those things that I just, like, right when I felt like I ready to just be like, man, why am I sacrificing everything and being righteous, and everything just started coming upon me. And I've actually been pretty much continuously blessed since then. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Seafood Peter. Shout out to those who've been on my path, helping me to keep my boom activated, helping me to keep me on my path to be righteous. This has been a long time coming. Like I said, these videos is the new introduction. There's going to be quite a few stories. We're going to tell my story. You're going to hear it from the horse's mouth, as they say, as I'm introducing you to different things, different modalities, different works. And I appreciate y'all for tapping in and having fun with me. We're an hour and 45 minutes in. This is a full feature film. Come on, y'all. I'm doing too much. I'm going to holler at y'all. There's more coming. Trust me. I stay on lives. Go Psychonaut Detroit on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe. I stay doing lives. I stay bringing it. I'm always talking about something interesting. I'm always bringing different modalities, and I'm here to teach. I read there are green, blue, and purple ones. Do you think one can wear all three, or will be there some conflict? So, good question, Master Civilization Builders. My answer to that is that these are living entities. It's a living energy, right? And so my answer to that is you need to be aware of if they mix or if the energies don't, and when they do and when they don't, right? And also, you know, it's been said, don't wear any of them all the time. Give some of them a break, right? So I'll rock right now. I'm rocking, you know what I'm saying, two certain ones and the one in my ring. Tomorrow, I'll probably just be rocking the one I'm not rocking now. Boom, and I'll be on a whole different level, right? So it's kind of like, what is it that you're really trying to do? Because, I mean, if you want some Thanos shit and you just feel like you need to rock all your shit that day, well, I mean, okay. But I wouldn't advise that on a regular basis. Whatever you're doing that day is probably powered up, right? So, for instance, for me, I'm on one of those powered up days. I took 2 microdoses today. I'm rocking 2 Yiming jewels on my neck, 1 on my ring. You know what I'm saying? I'm tapping in heavier into source, as we would say. Whereas tomorrow I might be more on some mental work. So I'll wear, you know what I mean, my purple John, and I'll be tapped into, you know what I'm saying, the mental realms. And I might, instead of doing a microdose, I might do a scholar seed or something like that. You understand what I'm saying? So I always say mix and match. Like, for real, don't be a menace while drinking your juice in the hood. I be on that. Should I wear this Tech 9 with these Jordans or the AK with the Air Force Wheezies? You understand what I'm saying? Like, especially when you're going into the interdimensional realms. He said, Scholar Seed? Yo, psychonautdetroit.org is the website. You understand? Oh, man. Or type in hashtag Scholar Seed. Plenty of definitions about them. I'm about to get off of this live. I ain't going to do it right now, but I will address that in coming. This one was about mushrooms. I done ran it through. We had an hour and 50 minutes. You know what I mean? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Please share these videos. And as always, please tell somebody you love them in the language they can understand it in. Peace.